Well, as we told you earlier this week, tech giant Shopify laid off 10% of its workforce, or about 1,000 workers. In a memo to staff, CEO Toby Lucky provided severance details. Here to break it down is employment lawyer Alex Lucifero. Alex, Shopify appears to be using the formula 16 weeks plus 1 week per year of service in order to calculate their employees' severance entitlements. At least that was what was laid out in that memo. Is that the right way to calculate severance? Could employees be owed more? Take us through the options here.
Well, the concern, Matt, is that whether it's Shopify or really any other employer in any other industry, applying a formula like that is likely, and I would say almost certainly, going to lead to some unfair results. Severance is very, very case by case determined. It depends on an employee's age, their years of service with the company, their position within that company. And so you can't apply a catch-all formula like the ones Shopify is suggesting it uses, because again, you'll get lots of employees, and particularly employees with more years of service, perhaps more specialized or senior positions, where those kinds of severance offers are going to be far, far less than what those employees are actually owed. Severance can be as much as 24 months of pay, Matt, for longer service employees, more senior employees. And again, 16 weeks plus a week per year of service is not going to cut it for those longer term employees.
Okay, again, interesting to note too, how long of an employee, can I ask before we move on here, to get 24 months of severance, how long would an employee have to work there in order to receive something like that?
Well, it really depends. But, just as an example, someone in their late 50s in a management level position that's even been with the same employer for 18 plus years, or perhaps 20 years or 20 plus years, may very well be looking at a package in the range of about 24 months. It should also be noted shorter service employees are also disproportionately owed more severance per year of service, so to speak. And so, for example, you can have a 1 or 2 or 3 year executive level employee, for example, that might be looking at a year's worth of severance. So again, these cases are very, very context specific, very case by case determined, and there is no one size fits all rule.
Yeah, okay. I want to ask you too, and I know that the company is going through financial difficulty, not necessarily going to affect the amount of severance, but the advice that you would have, if there's an employee from Shopify who's watching this now that they've just been terminated, what's your advice to them, at least at this point?
Well, the simple yet important piece of advice that I would leave with them, and this is relevant to any employee who's been let go, is don't make any rash decisions. Don't sign any kind of severance offers on the spot. Your severance offer may be reasonable. It may not be reasonable. You may be owed tens of thousands of dollars more than what's actually on the table right now. You need to speak with an employment lawyer in order to determine whether the offer is fair or not, and then make your decision accordingly. Decide what your next steps should be, what your options are. Don't sign off on any offer without that advice.
Okay, Alex Lucifero, we always appreciate your site. Certainly pertinent right now. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, Matt.